again. I just want to say thanks for everybody jumping on. It's been a really good season so far, obviously, and we've been very fortunate that we've been, for the most part, injury free, and we've played very consistent baseball, and I feel like that over the last month it's been about the same. We haven't made very many mistakes. We've pitched just good enough. We've had a lot of big offensive games, and we played in some tough venues. And with that being said, we've really enjoyed playing in front of big crowds, even on the road. And Baum Stadium, the last couple of times, the crowd seemed a little more normal to us. The noise, just everything, the feel of the stadium was kind of back to normal almost. And I think we've played 16 games since we met last time. It's gone real well because they were some really quality games. We've won 12 of those 16, went 12-4, to take our overall record right now to, I think, 34-8. And then I think Kevin mentioned we're 15-6 in the SEC play, which is, and you hear me saying it all the time, it's really good. Talking with other coaches that have been in the league for a while, they feel the same way, that the talent is really up. Teams seem to be a little bit older, and it's hard to win, and it's hard to beat people because of the experience that they have. But we've found a way in many a game. Right now our strength of schedule is listed at number two in the country. And I think with the teams that we have coming up, Tennessee on the road, Florida at home, those two teams are ranked in the top 10. Georgia, was in the top 25 in most of the polls. I think that we could end the regular season with the number one, I guess, rated hardest schedule, so to speak, in the country. Our RPI right now is number one. I think it's pretty solid. And the way that works is and I think I mentioned this last time, that a lot of variables go into it, but it's about, where you're playing. Are you winning? Do you win on the road? Is it a ranked team? I think they break it down into four sections. There's section quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4. And we've won a lot of games with teams in quadrant 1 and 2 and ranked teams. And that's how they come up with that formula, so to speak, a little bit anyway. So we're real proud of that. Hopefully we can stay up there throughout the rest of the season. When you look at the season, we've only got about, 17, 18 days of regular season left. And then we move into the conference tournament. So it's gone by fast, but it's been fun to be a part of this team. With that, I just want to, maybe lead into, talk a little bit about some of the statistics, and we'll start with, our team fielding. We've really done a nice job fielding this year. In conference play, we're fielding 984, which I think may be the top. I know overall for the year, we're fielding 980. And I know that leads the SEC in all games played. So I think that's truly been one of the reasons that we've won so many games in league play, and overall that we've taken care of the baseball pretty good. Team batting average, I think we're 280, 282, somewhere in there overall. We lead the SEC in runs scored, I think RBIs, walks, and home runs. And I think that leading the league in walks is big. It says that we're fouling off a lot of pitches. We're not going out of the zone too much, working the count. And when they're making mistakes a little bit, we're hitting the ball over the outfielder's head. So that's a good combination. Hopefully we can continue that. And then, our team ERA, it's a little higher than we'd like it. It's at 4.16, kind of in the middle of the pack, about the same in conference play. But I think that when you just look at maybe a couple of our front end starters, they've done a tremendous job and kept the scores down a little bit. So just proud of the team for continuing to get better and better as the season's gone on. As far as, the games that we played the last month, just kind of recapping some of those and really trying to reach back and remember them. It seems they run together a little bit because we played so many double headers. We didn't play a double header the first 2 months of the season, which is incredible because that's usually when we have the bad weather. I think it was mentioned in the locker room down there, and sure enough, 4 weeks in a row, we played a doubleheader. Probably we jinxed ourselves there, but we started out playing Little Rock, 2 midweek games, and right after we met, I think we talked on a Monday, and I think we played them Tuesday, Wednesday. I think we won 7-2, 10-3. I just remember that we played solid baseball. First ball game was tight for a while, and then we jumped out and scored some runs and kind of put it away. And I remember the second game, we gave Caleb Bolda to start, and I thought he did a tremendous job. He got us into the game. It was a game that we didn't want to lose it. We wanted to keep the momentum going. We were heading down to Ole Miss for a big series, and we won 10-3. Got to play a couple guys later in the game that hadn't played a whole lot, and they came through for us as well. We headed down to Ole Miss, and we started out with that doubleheader. I think we got rained out on a Friday, played 2 on a Saturday, and I remember the first game was tight for a while, and then we got some big hits. We ended up winning that game 7-3, and then we played the second game of that doubleheader. Didn't go so well, and it kind of became a situation where you're down 3 or 4 runs in the middle of the game. What pitchers do you want to use to try to get back in it? They had a good pitcher going. It looked like it was going to be tough to score. So we tried to save some guys for Sunday, and the Sunday's game was nuts. We jump out to a big lead. They come roaring back, tie the thing up at like 14 all. I don't even remember. Maybe I don't want to remember, but just remember we got a really big hit, a couple of big hits there, I think in the top of the 8th, and took the lead, couple run lead. And, Kevin Copps took it from there. I think he finished that game up for us, and we went away, I think, with about an 18-14 win. And just a big series win down at Ole Miss. I think at the time, Ole Miss was ranked 3rd in the country, feeling pretty good and playing really well. And for us to go in there and win that series, it was, it was just really big for the team and for where we're at now. Came back, played Pine Bluff a couple of games in the middle of the week, started a bunch of guys, both games that weren't everyday players at the time. And they did a great job for us. First game, 12-4, scored early, and then just kind of cruised towards the end. And then the second game, we had a lot of home runs, and again, tried to mix it up and give our starters at least one day off, one of the 2 games. And it paid off for us because some young guys did a great job. Non-starters did a great job. And, it's good to see the guys that don't play every day get an opportunity to get in there and play. And what I really enjoyed was watching our starters that weren't playing, cheer their teammates on. And we're happy for the guys that were having success. And it was fun to watch. It was really fun to watch, fun to be a part of. Then we had Texas A&M come in, and I told the team A&M's a dangerous team. They were fighting at the time to stay above 500 in league play. And game 1 we ended up playing doubleheader, obviously, and game 1 went great. Pitched extremely well. Wicklander, I think we had a shutout that game. We scored 12 or 13 runs and put it away early. And it was just game 1, though. So we knew we had to play another game. Sure enough, it was a so-called nail biter. We ended up winning that game 2-1, I think in 10 innings. To win both games of a doubleheader, extremely hard to beat anybody twice in the same day, especially when you score a lot of runs. And we kind of found that out against LSU the other day. You score all those runs, and it's like it's really tough to score the second game. But that was a big day for us to win that series and have an opportunity to sweep the final day. And it just didn't go real well. A little disappointed early, but then we came fighting back. We had the bases loaded. I think more of the middle of the order up, and they brought in their best lefty reliever, who had really done a nice job the night before and was on the mound when they when they missed a chance to turn the double play to get us to the 11th inning. So that was really, we thought, well, maybe he's a little worn out. He was better, and came in and struck out, I think, my 2 and 3 hole hitter, and we ended up losing that game 11-10. A little bit of a heartbreaker because we had rallied and looked like we were going to steal that game, and give A&M credit for hanging in there and finding a way to win a game. So we didn't play midweek game due to, I think, some COVID issues or weather issues the last couple of weeks. So, it was a different feel for us going into the South Carolina game without a Tuesday game, and maybe give us a little opportunity to rest. And sure enough, we end up playing a doubleheader. We go to South Carolina. They've got one of the best pitching staffs in the country. You're just looking at the numbers, the velocity. They hit home runs. They score in their own park, and they hadn't lost a series in Columbia all year, at least a conference series. And we go down there and, we give the ball to Wicklander, and he just does a tremendous job. And, he pitched great. As a matter of fact, let me change that around. We pitched Bolden game 1 because we had Wicklander going on short rest. We made a decision to go with Bolden, and I really believe that it might have caught South Carolina off guard a little bit, and then you combo that with Caleb pitching great. We just wanted to get us off to a good start, 3 or 4 good innings, and that's exactly what he did. It gave us an opportunity to get a lead, and we turned it over to the bullpen, and we won that game 6-1. The next day we came back and through Paulette, and again, I may be running them together. I don't remember if we played the doubleheader the first day or the second day. I think the second day, but it was it ended up being a good day. I thought Peyton pitched really well. Just we didn't score enough runs for him early, and then the game got away from us just a little bit in the middle, and we had to figure out how we wanted to handle it, and we lost 6-2, knowing that that we had Patrick ready to go, and he pitched a great game in the nightcap of that doubleheader. It was a long day, but we came away with a 5-1 win, and I think it just showed how tough the team was. Third doubleheader in a row as far as weekend series and conference play, and we sat in the dugout for an hour and a half, waiting to play that second game after a loss. It was a little difficult, and we were tough-minded, and I mentioned that, and I mentioned that to the media, I mentioned that to the team, and we came through with a big win there and got out of town. And again, we didn't have a midweek game, so we had to kind of take a day or two to kind of get caught up on rest, and just really appreciate the effort that our guys put in when we did practice. It seemed like they were excited to go. You headed down to LSU and won a series down there in, 15, 16 years. I'm sure the guys knew that. Really, really played well. I think we made 2 errors in 3 games, and first game we go out and we win 7-0. That was a great game this past Friday with Wicklander giving us every opportunity to score and get the lead. And, you got to give their starting pitcher credit too. I mean, he had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning, and then we got him for 4 hits, a couple 3 runs, and then punched in a couple more runs, got Kevin in there, and he shut him down for, I think, the last 7 outs or so, maybe more. It was just a tremendous win for us. And then, we got to sleep on that, knowing we were going to play a doubleheader on Saturday, or make that, Saturday. And I'll tell you, we came out on fire offensively. We were facing a pitcher that had done really well the last few weeks, and we got him early, and I think maybe shocked him a little bit. We ended up winning the game 17-10. Sounds like we gave up a lot of runs, and we did. But, the game, we felt like it was in hand. We had a big, I think, 14-2 lead at one time, and obviously they punched in a few runs, hit a couple home runs, and but we matched them with some runs and kind of kept the momentum in our dugout. And then obviously the last game was kind of a heartbreaker. We felt like the momentum was on our side, and we had a chance to sweep. And, I felt like the guys were into it, but I do feel like that we were a little tired. It just seemed like we were tired sitting around, and then we tried to get them going, and we got off to a really slow start. But, man, did we rally in the 9th against their number 1 closer. We ended up losing 5-4, left 1 runner on there, and scored 3 runs. We're really 1 big hit away. And, the first two outs in that inning were hit extremely hard. Moore hit a line drive to center field. If he hits the gap with that, he's off and running. And then, we had I think Opitz hit an absolute, what I called a missile right at the third baseman, an opposite field line drive. If that ball gets by him, we're probably going to win the game. And it's just kind of the breaks of the game sometime, but really proud of the way the guys played hard. And it was a long day, but a good trip back. And, now here we are, getting ready for, really the stretch run. We've got, Georgia coming in, and we'll kind of go through that here in a minute. But I think before I talk about Georgia, I wanted to, just talk about some of the individual players, everyday players, position players, and statistically where they're at. We'll start with the offense. I just feel like that it's been really consistent. There might be a day here or a day there, but there's such a thread up and down our lineup. And I think it's put a lot of pressure on opposing teams' pitching staffs, their coaching staffs, to try to figure out how to manipulate our lineup, throughout a game. And you might get us one time through, two times through, but it seems like sometime during the game, we're going to get you with a big inning. So start with Matt Goodhart. He's an everyday player, obviously DH, played a little bit of first. He's leading our team in batting average right now. He's hitting a little over 320. I think Matt has 11 home runs and I think right around 30 RBIs, but he hits in the 2-hole. He started a lot of innings, driven in runs, and really been consistent this year. So I'm really proud of Matt. Brady Slavens, that's another everyday player. He leads our team in RBIs. He has 50 now and 10 home runs. Kept his batting average up there decent. I don't know exactly what it is, a little over 300, and just has put together some really good games, some really good at bats where he's seen a lot of pitches. True freshman Kaden Wallace, hitting over 300. He's got 9 home runs, right around 30 RBIs. He's been taking a little drag bunting into his arsenal right now because he can really run. He got a bunt for a hit the other day that really started a big inning for us. I was excited to see that. I think there was a runner on first, nobody out. Fairly tight game, and he laid down that bunt, and I think we ended up scoring a bunch of runs, so that was exciting. Might have even been in the first inning. Can't remember. That was a long day. But, just proud of him. Freshman, strong, hanging in there. It seems to get better as the season goes on. You go with Christian Franklin. Starting center fielder has just had a tremendous year, in my opinion. And I've said this a lot this year. I think he's been a little bit of the unlucky hitter. He's hitting a little bit over 300, but he also leads our team with 11 doubles. He has 10 home runs, 45 RBI, something like that. And I think he's been Mr. Consistent. You take away one stretch there when he was 2 or 3 for 20 something. But again, I feel like there were 5 or 6 balls in that stretch that easily could have dropped. They were hit right on the nose. Robert Moore, who's hit leadoff for us most of the year. I dropped him down to the 6 hole a couple of weeks ago just to let him kind of hit behind Christian and maybe help us, drive in runs there. And, Robert's hitting right around 300. He's got 11 home runs, and he's hit some big home runs that have ignited us a little bit. You think about the South Carolina, he had 2 home runs in one game, and one gave us a lead, one gave us a bigger lead, and it was they were big. But Robert's done a great job, and I kind of like him in the middle of the order there. He swing, driving runs. But what I really like what Robert's done lately is he's taken his walks. He's walked a lot lately, and I think that's one reason he's swinging the bat better. He's getting deeper into counts. He's getting better pitches to hit, and it's jumped that average back up there a little bit. For me to move him down there, I put Zach Gregory at the top of the order. Zach's doing a great job. He hits left-handed, and he can hit left-handers. He does a great job there. He hit a ball the other day at LSU that would have been about 20 rows up in the bleachers, but the wind was howling straight in and pushed it down. But he's hit balls the other way. He's laid down some bunts. He takes his walks, playing a solid left field. And, I just feel like that it's helped our lineup. The other one that might lead off would be Braden Webb. And Braden is a great outfielder. I mean, he could be a center fielder here. Got a tremendous arm, good base runner, can steal bases. He just hasn't, the bat has just not come along. It's been a little bit spotty, but we're really needing him to get it going for us offensively. It takes me to, Casey Opitz is, again, he's hitting some tough luck the last couple of weeks. He's probably lined out more than anybody we've had, hit balls hard. But I like what I'm seeing from Casey at the plate. Obviously, he's a great defender and a great leader out there. Jalen Battles, he's hitting a little over 260. But what I like about Jalen, he's got a lot of big hits for us. He's got 30 RBIs and big hit after big hit. So he's found a way to drive in runs and really produce in the back half of that lineup. And the two third basemen that I've used this year, I've used Jacob Nesbitt and Cullen Smith. One hits right, one hits left. I really haven't just platooned them against a left or a right-handed pitcher. I've just kind of gone with, maybe what it says on paper, what the opposing team's pitcher, it does against right-handers or left-handers, or, it just depends. Maybe just go with the hot guy. But, they've both been pretty consistent. I think Cullen's hitting about 265. He's got 6 home runs, got a couple big hits in the LSU series, and Jacob's hitting about 245. Played outstanding defense, and it's tough for me to figure out who to play there, honestly. But they're competing, they're friends, and I appreciate the way they act when they're not in the lineup. They're pulling for the other guy. It's been great. And probably the only other hitter that I wanted to mention, is Charlie Welch a little bit. He's got a really good batting average, not a lot of at bats, 5 home runs. If we didn't have Goodhart as our DH, Charlie would probably fill that role some, for sure, against left-handed pitching, but Matt's been pretty good there. And Charlie's been a guy that you can bring off the bench, and he's going to give you some good at-bats or pinch hit. And, hopefully throughout the rest of the season, he's going to make a difference in a few games. So that's a little bit about the offense, kind of in a nutshell, just kind of going through the everyday players. I left some guys out, but, really not a whole lot to talk about except a game here, a game there, because they all did a nice job when they got to play. So from there, I'd really like to maybe talk a little bit about our pitching. And we start with the starters. And really, it's been 2 starters that have been locked in pretty good, and that's Patrick Wicklander. Patrick's pitching like a junior, pitching like we thought he would, his 3rd year here. And I think now that he's healthy, everything's, with him just seems to be under control. His motion's good. He's been able to repeat it. His ERA overall is under a 2, and in conference play, it's even lower at like a 1.6. So tremendous job by Patrick, giving us a chance every game 1 on the weekend for the most part. And really just giving us innings so we could save a little bit of our bullpen. I feel like Peyton Paulette has done a tremendous job the last few outings. I see him getting better, even though, at South Carolina, he got a loss. He gave us about 5 innings, and I thought he pitched well. And those guys can hit. And it was just it was just kind of one of those things. We just felt like it was time to get him out. We had a pretty good bullpen there at the time. And but in SEC play, he's got about a 4 ERA. I think that his better days are in front of him this year, because I continue, like I said, we see him getting better mound presence, just everything. The more experience he gets pitching on the weekend. When you go from there, you talk about 3 guys. We've had Lyle Lockhart pitch in game 3, Caleb Bolden, Zeb Vermillion. Zeb was injured for a while. Brought him out of the pen, did okay this past weekend. We're not 100% sure how we're going to handle that this weekend. Like Caleb's given us a good start at South Carolina, but we brought him in the other day when we had a good lead, and then the lead was going away and momentum was changing. We felt like we didn't want to let this thing slip away, because we saw what happened at Ole Miss. Anything can happen. Guys can hit. They're at home. So we used him there. We went with Lockhart. It didn't go so good. But we got to get that solidified a little bit. Might even see Jackson Wiggins out there a little bit more. We're going to start building this pitch count up, or maybe we're going to give him an opportunity to start here shortly. So we'll see how that all shakes out. But as far as the bullpen, it's been really good with 3 or 4 guys, and we'd like it to be a little bit deeper. But with Kevin Kopps, it's been tremendous. Obviously, everybody's been following what Kevin's done. He's got 6 saves. Kevin has 6 wins. Means he's come in games that are either tied or we're behind, and we catch up and end up winning. His ERA is under 1. He's got like 75 strikeouts and, one of the top relief pitchers in the country. So happy for Kevin. He works extremely hard, been through a lot. And, without him, we wouldn't be where we are now. I think Caden Monk has done a tremendous job, especially when we only have to use him once on the weekend. He's been really good. He was really good the first time we brought him in against South Carolina. He was really good this past weekend against LSU. And, hopefully he'll keep climbing and maybe be able to give us a few more innings. Ryan Costu has done a good job, especially for, say, 4 outs, getting an out and maybe the 6th and going the 7th. We tried to push him another inning and it hasn't gone real good, but 2 innings out there, 4, 5, 6 outs max. He's been really good, and hopefully that will continue, and he can continue to, to improve where he can give us a little bit more. So, and then the other one is Jackson Wiggins. We haven't used him much, haven't really used him at all the last couple of weekends. It hasn't worked out. We've just finished with Kevin a couple of times and kind of going with the hot hand. So Jackson's got a really good arm. He had some good saves for us, and we're working on trying to get him out there a little bit more. I think you might see that here in the future, maybe as early as this weekend. So, and then again, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, our team defense has been solid. And when you pitch well and you field well, you're going to give yourself to be in games. And that's what we've done. And just really proud of the way our position players come out every day and they work hard in pregame, they work hard in practice. And I think it carries over to the game. And plus they have a lot of talent. And, I'll stack up our middle infield, really the middle of the field up with anybody in the country. We talk about opens, behind the plate and, our 2 middle infielders, our center fielder, I think that's as good as any in the country. I don't know if there's better, but it's definitely is good. So, and then, really, I don't know, that's about all that's gone on as far as on the field, for the past 4 weeks, and it sure has flown by. I mean, we all talk about, even the players talking about it. Can't believe it's May already. And I think it's a combo of just that we've been busy. We've been on the road the last 2 weekends and, not playing last year. And it's been amazing, but, we're really excited about the next 10 games. We have 10 games left. We have Georgia coming in, and, Georgia, they've been rolling pretty good. They did lose the series this weekend. They lost the rubber match. I think it was on Saturday, and I think they're right at 500 in league play. They've been a top 25 team really most of the year, and they have top 25 talent. They have big time arms. They have a good bullpen. They hit home runs. They have a lot of talent. So we know what we're in for. I mean, in the SEC, you got to kind of almost throw records out, a couple of breaks here or there. They have the same record we do. So we're looking for hopefully the really good crowd and really loud crowds. Hopefully the next, two series that we have here. After the Georgia series, we've got Arkansas State coming in on a Tuesday, and it'll be good to play a Tuesday game, just to kind of get that rhythm going a little bit of 4 games a week, since we haven't done it for a couple of weeks. And haven't ever played Arkansas State. First time for me as a coach. And as far as I know, maybe the first time, in baseball here in the last 50 years anyway. So looking forward to that. And then we head to Tennessee the next weekend. Tennessee's having a great season, pretty much same record that we have. They hit a lot of home runs. They've hit a lot. They've hit like 15 or 16 home runs the last 2 weekends in conference play and really jumped it up. They have outstanding starting pitching. They have 2 really good relievers and probably a couple more that we don't know about out of the pen, but a couple are getting all the pub. They're tied for first in the East. They're only a game behind us and overall, and got a couple former coaches there. So it'll be a great series. And then obviously we come back and we finish up on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series with Florida. Florida jumped back in the top 10. They were a preseason number 1 pick in every poll. They have incredible talent. Kind of started slow, readjusted their starting pitching, and I think it's working for them. There's some of their starters are now in the bullpen, and maybe even a couple of them are closing games for them. They have a dangerous lineup, and they just knocked off Vandy 2 out of 3 this weekend to get within a game or so of first place over there, a game or two. So one of the best teams in the country, and definitely a contender to win a national championship like Tennessee is, and like Georgia is, and like 3 or 4 of the other teams we played down the stretch here. After that, as far as I know, I think we've already qualified for the SEC tournament. And then we'll head over there after the Florida series. So still have a lot of work to do. We try not to get too far ahead of ourselves. Right now, our focus is on Georgia and finding a way to win that series here this weekend. But I know our players and the coaches, we're really looking forward to playing back here at home. So with that, I want to just talk about 2 or 3 more things. Just the recruiting class, our 21 class, as I mentioned last month, is really, really talented, and they're just really, really tearing it up, almost to the point where we wish some of them would slow down a little bit. But we're talking to the major league scouts and see what they're telling us as far as the draft. We're talking to advisors of these families to see what they're thinking about these kids, and obviously we're talking to our kids, trying to figure it out, where they're going to get drafted, if they're going to get drafted, if their intention are to sign or to come to school, what type of money they want to sign to leave, to not come to school. It's a tough time of year for us, but we're just really grateful that we have so many good players in this class to keep it rolling here at Arkansas through the future. Right now, our players are finishing up their schoolwork, taking finals, most of them online. So a little lighter this week for us as far as practicing, group work, some bullpens for the next couple of days. And then Thursday will be a full team practice, putting in a few things for Georgia. I mean, you don't change a whole lot this time of year, but that's kind of the schedule. Did want to mention that had the opportunity to go through the Hunt Family Baseball Development Center about a week ago. So, it'd been about a month, and that it just changes weekly, I'm sure, but daily. It was incredible. It's really exciting to tour through there real quickly. And, I'm hoping that maybe in, once the regular season's over, or maybe we'll have an opportunity to show some of the players what it looks like in there, and they can spread the word, because most of our kids haven't been in there that we know of. So anyway, thanks again for getting on, and just can't tell you how much we're looking forward to getting back to Baum Walker and playing, and just really looking forward to having some big crowds and some loud crowds, and it can help us win some of those tight games. See you at the park.